Hello and welcome back to the Explain USA. Today, we're looking at a crisis in the Middle East that is just boiling over. You know, on the surface, you hear these whispers of peace, of deals maybe being struck, but just beneath that, a shadow war is absolutely exploding. We're talking missiles hitting critical targets and military forces moving into position. The public statements are telling one story, but the military actions, well, they're telling a completely different and frankly, a much more dangerous one.
Okay, so let's dive right into this. This is the core problem, right here. You've got the US president talking about how negotiations are going well, maybe a breakthrough is right around the corner. But at the exact same time, Iran's parliament speaker is issuing this incredibly chilling warning, promising to rain fire on any troops that invade. So, how can both of these things be true at once? What is really going on?
These completely contradictory signals are creating this climate of just extreme uncertainty. Washington is talking peace, but, its actions look a whole lot like they're preparing for war. And if you're in Tehran, this isn't just confusing. It's a terrifying sign that this whole conflict is about to get way, way worse.
Yeah, so while President Trump is talking about a deal, the Pentagon is sending a massive amount of firepower over to the region. We're talking about the USS Tripoli, which is basically a small aircraft carrier, already there with thousands of sailors and Marines. Another expeditionary unit is on its way. And maybe most telling, the 82nd Airborne, that's the rapid response force that can be anywhere in the world in 24 hours, is arriving. Look, these aren't defensive moves. These are the pieces you put on the board when you're planning an offensive. And this is exactly how Tehran is reading the situation. They hear the talk about dialogue, but they see the troops moving, and they've concluded it's all a trick. The Speaker of Iran's parliament, Mohammad Bagher Khalibaf, he put it bluntly, they believe the US is secretly plotting a ground attack, and they are getting ready for it. So in their minds, all this talk of peace has become the loudest warning sign that war is right at the door.
So now, the conflict is no longer about just words and warnings. It's escalated into this really dangerous cycle of direct attacks on critical infrastructure. The shadow war is officially out in the open, and both sides are hitting sensitive and economically vital targets. The first major blow landed inside Iran. A petrochemical plant up in Tabriz was struck and partly damaged overnight. And this immediately caused a panic among the local population, who were, terrified of a toxic leak. Now, the authorities managed to control the fire, but the message was crystal clear. Iran's industrial heartland was now a target. Iran's response was incredibly fast and, you could say, symmetrical. A missile slammed into a chemical factory in southern Israel, near Beersheba. The explosion and the fire sent these massive, thick plumes of smoke into the sky, forcing residents to shelter indoors and raising fears of a huge environmental disaster. And the escalation just kept going. The next target? Iran's power grid. A major attack caused a blackout all around the capital, Tehran, and it left millions of people in the dark for hours. This showed a whole new willingness to cripple the basic functions of the country. Now, this next move is really telling, because it shows just how much this fight is widening. Iran didn't just strike back at Israel, it targeted facilities that belong to key US allies in the Gulf. Aluminum plants in both the United Arab Emirates and Bahrain were hit. And that sent a signal that any country hosting American forces or supporting the US could be drawn right into the line of fire. You see, what started as a standoff between two nations has now spread, pulling in new players and opening up new fronts all across the Middle East. The battlefield isn't just confined to Iran and Israel anymore. It now stretches all the way from the mountains of Yemen to the waters of the Persian Gulf. And here's a hugely significant development. Yemen's Houthis have now entered the conflict. This Iran-backed group has opened a third front, and they're launching drones and missiles from Yemen all the way towards Israel. Plus, their control over Yemen's Red Sea coastline puts a vital global trade route at serious risk. So let's talk about this number, 20%. That is the share of the entire world's oil supply that passes through the Strait of Hormuz. And right now, Iran is basically maintaining a closure of this critical choke point, which threatens to just strangle the global economy.
And the attacks on America's Gulf allies are just intensifying. I mean, look at this. In Kuwait, a power plant was hit and a foreign worker was killed. Saudi Arabia is trying to fend off a barrage of ballistic and cruise missiles. Air raid sirens are going off in the UAE and Bahrain, and even Qatar is intercepting drones launched from Tehran. Absolutely no one in the region feels safe right now.
The stakes were raised yet again when rockets slammed into Camp Victory, a major base in Baghdad. Now, US forces have actually evacuated this specific camp, but it remains this powerful symbol of the American presence there. The The message is just undeniable. U.S. military installations themselves are now considered fair game. So, this is no longer just a regional conflict, not by a long shot. The economic and diplomatic shockwaves are being felt all across the globe as markets react to the instability and world powers just scramble to contain the fallout.
The economic impact was immediate and pretty severe. Oil prices surged to $116 a barrel, which sent gas prices soaring everywhere. And major stock markets in Asia, like in Japan and South Korea, opened way down, reflecting these global fears of a long disruptive war.
But amidst all this chaos, there is a tiny glimmer of diplomatic hope. After hosting foreign ministers from Saudi Arabia, Turkey, and Egypt, Pakistan has stepped forward. They've offered to mediate and even host direct talks between the US and Iran. It's a potential off-ramp, a small chance to pull back from the brink.
The problem is, though, even if both sides agree to talk, they're walking a diplomatic tightrope. Both Washington and Tehran have laid out these huge lists of demands, creating what looks like an impossible stalemate before the talks have even begun. And I mean, just look at the demands. It shows you how far apart they are. The US is demanding Iran completely dismantle its nuclear program, limit its missiles, and stop supporting its allies in the region. Meanwhile, Iran is demanding a total end to aggression, reparations for war damages, and full recognition of its sovereignty over the Strait of Hormuz. These aren't just starting points for negotiation, these are fundamental, non-negotiable red lines for both of them.
And that leads us to the final and, frankly, terrifying question. Both sides are actively striking one another. The conflict is expanding every single day, and their demands for peace seem completely mutually exclusive.
With so much momentum pushing everyone towards a much wider war, it just leaves us all wondering, can diplomacy even stand a chance? If you like informative videos, so you can subscribe my channel and hit the bell icon. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.